Good day, everyone. Today we'll be discussing the faculty and teacher standards and the curriculum. First, we will deal with the Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers, or the PPST. So the PPST is the basis for all learning and development programs for teachers to ensure that teachers are properly equipped to effectively implement the K-12 program. Attached is the copy of the Department Order Number 42 Series of 2017, signed by the DepEd Secretary Leonor Magtolis Briones. Secretary Briones signed into policy DepEd Order Number 42 Series of 2017, or the National Adoption and Implementation of the Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers. Based on the Department Order Number 42 Series of 2017, the PPST first sets clear expectations of teachers along well-defined career stages of professional development from beginning to distinguished practice. Today's teachers are expected to have advanced knowledge and skills and high academic and ethical standards. Second, it engages teachers to embrace ongoing professional learning for their professional development to enhance their own teaching. Professional development training can help teachers to become better at planning their time and staying organized. This ultimately makes teachers more efficient and give them extra time to focus on students rather than the paperworks. Third, it provides a framework of uniform measures to assess teacher performance. And fourth, it provides a basis for building public confidence in and support for the work of teachers. In conclusion, PPST aims to produce better teachers in our country by improving their qualification skills and by increasing their levels of knowledge, practice, and professional engagement. What is the Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers, or the PPST? It is a public statement of professional accountability, so each point may be discussed and the context must be anchored on teacher quality. Second, it has four career stages, which is the beginning, the proficient, highly proficient, and the distinguished. It has 7 domains, 37 strands, and 37 indicators for each career stage. So the professional standards is a public statement of accountability, for it brings out the prestige to the teaching profession. And at this point, the story of Magteacher Ka Na Lang is usually shared to the audience. With the professional standards, the mindset of Magteacher Ka Na Lang will be changed hopefully to a question of kaya mo bang maging teacher? And sufficiently generic means that the professional standards can be used regardless of the specialization and grade or year level. Other important features of the PPST. So like what I said a while ago, it has 7 domains. First is the content, knowledge, and pedagogy. Second is the learning environment. Third is the diversity of learners. Fourth is the curriculum and planning. Fifth is the assessment and reporting. Sixth is the community linkages and professional engagement. And lastly, personal growth and professional development. Now let's try to understand each domain one by one. First is the domain 1, or the content, knowledge, and pedagogy. So, the mastery of the subject content by a teacher, it greatly determines the quality of teaching and subsequent learning of the students. The teacher with good knowledge of the subject matter is able to plan and teach the lesson by way of highlighting the main points of the lesson to the learner while clarifying the knowledge misconceptions. So there are 7 strands under the first domain. These are content, knowledge, and its application within and across curriculum areas. Second is the research-based knowledge and principles of teaching and learning. Third is the positive use of ICT. Fourth is the strategies for promoting literacy and numeracy. Fifth is the strategies for developing critical and creative thinking, as well as other higher order thinking skills. And 6 is the mother tongue, Filipino and English in teaching and learning. And 7th and lastly, classroom communication strategies. So let's proceed to the domain 2 or the learning environment. So it is important to foster a learning environment in which students feel safe, relaxed, and willing to take risks, especially for learners who may have had negative experiences in traditional classroom environment like what we used to have in face-to-face. Yes. So there are 6 strands under domain 2. These are learner safety and security, fair learning environment, management of classroom structure and activities, support for learner participation, promotion of purposive learning, and management of learning behaviors. And the domain 3 or the diversity of learners. So, bakit ba natin kailangan to? So, ang culturally responsive teachers connects academic concepts to the everyday lives of their students. A strategy that makes learning experiences more personally meaningful, engaging, and effective. So, there are 5 strands under the third domain. First is learners' gender, needs, strength, interests, and experiences. Learners' linguistic, cultural, socioeconomic, and religious backgrounds. Learners with disabilities, giftedness, and talents. Learners in difficult circumstances, and learners from indigenous groups. Fourth domain is the curriculum and planning. With our knowledge, experience, and competence, teachers are central to any curriculum improvement effort, and we are responsible for introducing the curriculum in the classroom and even outside the classroom. In order to create strong curriculum, we teachers must play an integral role in every step of the process. So there are 5 strands in the domain 4. These are planning and management of teaching and learning process, learning outcomes aligned with learning competencies, relevance and responsiveness of learning programs, professional collaboration to enrich teaching practice, and teaching and learning resources including ICT. So let's proceed to the 5th domain, which is the assessment and reporting. So assessment can also help motivate students, just as assessment helps us teachers, because frequent assessment allows teachers to see if their learning has been effective. Proper use of assessment tools also allows teachers to ensure students learn what they know in order to meet the lessons learning objectives. So under the 5th domain, there are 5 strands. First, design, selection, organization, and utilization of assessment strategies. Second, monitoring and evaluation of learning progress and achievement. Third, feedback to improve learning. Fourth, communication of learner needs, progress, and achievement to key stakeholders. And fifth, use of assessment data to enhance teaching and learning practices and programs. So let's proceed to the domain 6 or the community linkages and professional engagement. Teachers who have good community relations are more motivated to teach and provide more opportunities for better learning. We can also learn and tie up with other organizations related to our field of expertise. Thus, community linkages are vitalities of successful instruction and administration. So there are 4 strands under Domain 6, these are establishments of learning environments that are responsive to community context, engagement of parents and the wider school community in the educative process, professional ethics, school policies and procedures. The 7th and last domain, the personal growth and professional development. As we all know, professional development for teachers may include college-level coursework, seminars, conferences, or online classes. It enables educators to develop the knowledge and skills they need to address students' learning challenges. Under Domain 7, there are 5 strands, namely philosophy of teaching, dignity of teaching as a profession, professional links with colleagues, professional reflection and learning to improve practice, and professional development goals. Now let's proceed to the 4 career stages of the PPST. First is the beginning teachers. They are those who have gained the qualifications recognized for entry into the teaching profession and are supported to reach career stage 2 within 2 to 3 years. So they possess the requisite knowledge, skills, and values that support the teaching and learning processes. They also manage learning programs and have strategies that promote learning based on the learning needs of their students. Next is the proficient teachers, or the professionally independent in the application of skills vital to the teaching and learning process. They display skills in planning, implementing, and managing learning programs. So they actively engage in collaborative learning with the professional community and other stakeholders for mutual growth and advancement. They are also reflective practitioners who continually consolidate the knowledge, skills, and practices of career stage 1 teachers. Let's proceed to the highly proficient teachers. They consistently display a high level of performance in their teaching practice, and they provide support and mentoring to colleagues in their professional development. So they have high education focus, situation cognition, and are more adept in problem solving and optimize opportunities gained from their experiences. So kapag nasa career stage 3 ka na, teachers work collaboratively with colleagues and provide them support and mentoring to enhance their learning and practices. Fourth and the highest are the distinguished teachers. They embody the highest standard for teaching grounded in global best practice, and they recognize as educators, leaders, contributors to the profession. So they exhibit commitment to inspire the education community and stakeholders for the improvement of education provision in the Philippines. So what are the teaching standards? So the teaching standards were created by the Department of Education to set a clear baseline of expectations for the professional practice expected of teachers in the Philippines. They are also statutory, which means that we must follow them in order to be allowed to teach. But they are also an excellent tool for reviewing our professional development and ensuring that are on the right track. Being familiar with them can prevent us from making silly mistakes that could jeopardize our future as teachers. 5 ways to achieve the teaching standards. First, make accurate and productive use of assessment. Lahat naman tayo naturuan ng kung paano i-assess ang learning at ang progress ng mga bata through the use of the proper tools of assessment. So if you teach older pupils, we always have to write meaningful feedback and keep a record of verbal feedback. When we teach the younger ones naman, we have to make notes using activities, take photographs that record progress, and update records regularly. Number 2, plan and teach well-structured lesson. They always say na it's a mortal sin para sa isang guro kapag hindi niya alam yung ituturo niya at kung wala siyang lesson plan before siya i-execute ang isang lesson. So, ang well-structured na lessons from start to the last ay makikita mo yung kahandaan ng teacher sa pagde-deliver ng kanyang lesson. So, makikita dyan na Ang isang guro ay magbibigay ng prior learning box. And at the end of the lesson, the teacher will give a set of homework para masukat kung gaano natutunan ng isang bata yung lesson for the day. Pwede rin natin ibigay sa homework yung mga lesson na ituturo natin sa susunod na araw para masigurado natin na meron ng prior knowledge ang isang bata bago pa man natin ituro yung lesson. Third, adapt teaching to respond to the strengths and needs of all pupils. So we have always to familiarize ourselves with any learning difficulties, behavioral problems, or additional needs and what that means for our teaching. Kailangan natin malaman kung sino yung mahina, kung sino yung mga gifted, talented, and those children with higher abilities para makapaghanda tayo ng differentiated lesson plans. Mahirap sa mga teacher na magawa ng differentiated lesson, lalo na activities sa iba't ibang students with different abilities and capabilities. But still, kapag inisip natin yung kung saan mas matututo ang mga estudyante, magiging madali na lang lahat. Fourth, manage behavior effectively to ensure a good, safe learning environment. So, ang mga teachers are also should also manage behavior effectively. So, kailangan yung teacher mismo ay nagdi-display at nagde-demonstrate ng class rules, mag-records ng students' behavior, and magbigay ng sanction sa mga maling nagagawa ng estudyante and magbigay ng rewards or reinforcement sa mga magaganda naman nilang ginagawa. Kasi once na pinabayaan natin yung isang estudyante na gumawa ng tuloy-tuloy na hindi magaganda or ng mga bagay na nakaka-istorbo sa mga kaklase niya habang tayo nagtuturo. So, iisipin niya na okay lang pala kay ma'am. So, kapag na-manage natin yung behavior nila effectively, we can create a good and safe learning environment for our students. And number 5, maintain high levels of personal and professional conduct. So, always follow the school safeguarding policy. So, we always treat students with dignity and respect as a part of the general conduct. But still, we have to maintain that professional gap between the teachers and the pupils. Kasi, isa sa mga madidiscuss mamaya, yung pagiging child-friendly ng mga teachers. Pero dapat kailangan natin makita rin ng mga estudyante natin kung asan yung boundary ng pagiging teacher at pagiging estudyante. Pwede tayo maging magkaibigan sa labas ng classroom para ma-approach nila tayo sa mga bagay-bagay kung may naiintindihan sila or may nahihirapan silang intindihan sa ating lessons. Pero dapat sa loob ng classroom, makita kung sino yung person in authority, which is us, their teachers. So again, these are the 5 ways to achieve the teaching standards. So what makes a good teacher? Here are 10 qualities of a good teacher. First is communication skills. Communication is both receptive and expressive. Teachers must be skilled at listening to their students as well as explaining things clearly. Teachers need clarity of thought to present the materials, and they must be able to break down complex ideas into simpler parts and smaller steps to transmit to their students. Next is listening skills. So, good listening skills are needed to develop empathy and understanding with the students and to assess whether they understand what they are being taught. Listening skills also help in negotiating with students and diffusing any potential classroom conflicts. Third is friendly attitude. A friendly teacher, as the very term suggests, acts like a friend for his or her students. A teacher friend, in fact, combines both the guidance of a teacher and the understanding of a friend. We all, at some point of time, aspire for an understanding teacher. Such a teacher acts like our friend, philosopher, and guide. If we have our teacher as our friend, we will never wander from the right path of life. Every teacher should have some friendly traits in him or her. Such a teacher is more close to the students and proves to be a better educator as well. Number four is patient. A patient teacher will also have the willingness to adapt to different classroom situations. Students vary from class to class, and we know that. Some may be attentive while others are troublemakers. Others aren't disruptive only because they may be busy texting their friends while sitting in the back of the classroom. Different learning strategies may have to be employed depending on the students in each class. Some students excel in role playing, while others prefer to quietly write notes and listen. A good teacher knows how to engage students in the learning process. Number five is strong work ethic. No matter what job we are in, our credibility is determined by our work ethic. A strong work ethic enables others to give their trust and respect, believe in your vision, and accept your judgment as sound. Perhaps most importantly for us, teachers, our individual work ethic buys us the freedom to deviate from traditional pedagogical paths and try something new. To that end, teachers must intentionally exercise professional audacity. We must dare to recognize ideas that may benefit our classrooms, then have enough intrepid boldness to try them out. Number six is organizational skills. Teaching requires organization. Organizational systems vary from one leader to the next. And what works in one classroom may not work in another one. However, teachers need to maintain organization in order for their classroom to run smoothly and effectively. Classroom organization can be broken down into the three categories that can be referred to as the three P's, or planning, paperwork, and physical space. If a teacher plans effectively, stays on top of paperwork, and has a well-designed physical space, the classroom will run more smoothly than one that is lacking organization. Number seven is preparation. Teachers should prepare and plan enough material to last the entire class period or school day. Every second of every day should matter. When you plan enough, students remain engaged, the day goes by quicker, and ultimately, student learning is maximized. Number eight is discipline skills. Discipline is an important skill that we should possess as teachers so as to be labeled as effective. A vital component of effective classroom management, your discipline ensures that positive behavior is encouraged inside the classrooms. Unlike common beliefs, discipline is not about punishing students. Rather, it is a way to manage and guide students. Discipline is directly affected by the kind of relationship you have with your students. Number nine, kid-friendly teaching environment. It is a democratic environment based on children's rights, where all students are accepted, teaching learning processes are organized according to children's interest needs, health, safety, and protective measures are taken for children, and gender-based discrimination is not provided. And lastly, respectful attitude. Respecting students is essential for boosting teacher effectiveness. It seems today that the media jumps at every opportunity to showcase an educator who has made a poor decision in judgment. One of the most prevalent issues highlighted is that of a teacher continuously berating or disrespecting a student or a group of students. This type of behavior is unacceptable. All educators expect their students to be respectful to them, but some fail to realize that this is a two-way street. All educators show their students respect at all times, including tense moments of conflicts. So these are the 10 qualities of a good teacher. Now let's proceed to the second topic, the curriculum. Here are some definitions of the curriculum. First, the term curriculum refers to the lessons and academic content taught in a school or in a specific course or program. Second, a curriculum is the combination of instructional practices, learning experiences, and students' performance assessment that are designed to bring out and evaluate the target learning outcomes of a particular course. The Philippine Education Curriculum, or the K-12 Enhanced Basic Education Curriculum. It aims to enhance learners' basic skills and produce more competent citizens and prepare graduates for lifelong learning and employment. K stands for kindergarten, and 12 refers to the succeeding 12 years of basic education. 6 years of elementary education, 4 years of junior high school education, and 2 years of senior high school education. It gives students the chance to choose among 3 tracks, namely academic track, technical vocational livelihood track, and sports and arts tracks, and undergo immersion, which provides relevant exposure and actual experience in their chosen tracks. So this is the framework of Philippine educational system. First is the primary, or it composed of the ages 6 to 12 and grades 1 to 6. Elementary school covers the first 6 years of compulsory education, grades 1 to 6, informally divided into 3 years of primary level and 3 years of intermediate level. And the secondary education consists of 4 levels, largely based on the American schooling system. The Department of Education specifies a compulsory curriculum for all secondary schools, public and private. Next is the vocational school, or technical and vocational education is offered by government-operated or private institutions, often called colleges. Programs duration varies from a few weeks to 3 years. Upon the graduation from the most of the programs, students may take TESDA, or Technical Education and Skills Authority examination, to receive an appropriate certificate or diploma. And next is tertiary. Tertiary, or the university or college and undergraduate level. Higher education is governed by the CHED, or Commission on Higher Education, that was created on May 18, 1994 through the passage of Republic Act No. 7722, or the Higher Education Act of 1994. The creation of CHED was part of a broad agenda of reforms on the country's education system outlined by the Congressional Commission on Education, or EDCOM, in 1992. Part of the reforms was the trifocalization of the education sector in 3 governing bodies: the CHED for tertiary and graduate education, the Department of Education for basic education, and the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority, or TESDA, for technical, vocational, and middle-level education. And the tertiary, or university, college, and graduate level So, kung saan natin kinukuha ang ating post-baccalaureate, baccalaureate, and postdoctoral studies, and sa ating lines of specialization. So, this is the Philippine educational system. Thank you for listening.